All right, guys. So first off, hi. It's been a while since we've been able to just talk with just us and no guests. Today is July 22nd. We still have about another week and 2 days left in this month. I'm excited first off, just for you guys who don't know who I am, even though I think I see everyone I do, I know everybody on here. I'm Carissa, Triple Diamond, been with It Works for 9.5 years. Been with the company full time for 7.5 years. Mom, two, uh, and I think that's the short version that works well. We also have our upline of all uplines on with us as well, who will also be talking tonight. We have Rusty Lackey, which he'll give you guys a little bit of info about him.
Yeah, I just been full time 20 years, and Mark Pentecost is my sponsor. I think I'm proud of this organization because some of you are really close to catching that club with us. I was Mark is actually in North Carolina this week where I live, and he's having fun in my mountains up the street here. And but we have somewhere around 80 people. It's made over $1 million in our organization. I'm proud of that. It's been worth the entire 20 years of putting it on the line to help people get to that level. But also, I see what is coming through this organization right here, the excitement, the fire, and that's all it takes. And, it's been worth it. Every day, every year, every struggle, everything, the good, the bad, the ugly that you go through, you can't have no good if you don't have any bad. So therefore you don't know what to judge one from the other, and all of a sudden it starts to get better because you're very consistent and you show up every day. It doesn't matter. See, winning is not easy. I played football a lot of years and had to train all year long in order to play on a Friday night and then on a Saturday afternoon. And here I am, almost 60 years old. I still train hard and heavy, and I do it because I look at that as a preventative measure. And when I look at that as a preventative measure, that means a prevention is an action. You have to take the action in order to prevent certain things from happening to you physically, to you financially. When you out train everybody else or outwork them, that means you just show up. And once you do that, you prevent poverty, you prevent illness, you prevent sickness, and you cannot not get away from it unless you're having an alternative method to prevention. And it's real easy. I swear to you, it's easy to take on the preventative measure. It's as easy getting up to work out, putting the right things is as easy sitting on the couch and eating potato chips and watching some sitcom designed for the mentality of a 6-year-old with an ever expanding posture and a lazy boy recliner. And so when you make up your mind, look, this is my kids are worth it, and you get the why, you really get that finite why. See, it's my children. My girls and my daughters are grown now. They grew up with their work. They grew up hanging out with the Pentecost family on the ranch before it got to be as nice as it is now, doing all kinds of extreme, having fun things. And I wanted them to see how hard we work, but I wanted them to see the freedom. So what I looked at is I didn't want somebody else raising my kids or making memories with my children. Therefore, I threw the full effort into it because my two little girls, which Carissa knows my daughters very well. Um, some of you know them very well. You've had a chance to hang out in different places in the world with them. And bottom line is, I wanted to be the ones that raise them and make the memories. And here's why: I wanted to instill my value system and my belief system into my daughters, and so I could raise that standard. So I won't have to kill some little boy later that mistreated my daughter because she lowered her standard. And that needed to come from a very strong individual. I had 3 younger sisters, which my father was a very strong, independent man, but he was a minister. And so he taught me a couple things about true respect for you ladies. And that's how I wanted to raise my 2 daughters. And I was in the banking industry, and I couldn't do that when I was gone 3 weeks a month doing corporate takeovers, mergers, and acquisitions. And I was chasing money because my wife and I are very poor. And I was chasing the money because I wanted my kids to have better. In the name of I want them to have it better than I had it, I was willing to do things that was unconducive to my value system. And I just said, well, I'm doing it for y'all. And they were growing up and I wasn't at home. And one day I met Mark Pentecost, talked to him every day for 7.5 months. That was over 20 years ago. And then I called to fly out 3 hours late. And you know what? My boss said no, and I didn't have to be into New Orleans to the next day, and I live in North Carolina. And when he said that, I made up my mind that was a determined. Have you ever prayed for a blessing? Raise your hand if you prayed for a blessing. And all of a sudden, God presented you with a blessing. And so at this point, you have to do what? God is not a genie, it's not welfare, and it's not free. You have to take responsibility for what he puts on your doorstep. And therefore, when he put Mark Pentecost in my life and Networks Global on my doorstep, it took me 7.5 months to realize I needed to take the responsibility of the blessing. And when I did, please, I'm not telling anybody to quit your job. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you have the ability to fire your boss. And that's why we work very strategic now, like the Zoom that was on a while ago. It was some great information. The best information I've heard all year come from this team right here. These girls ain't playing. They'll teach you how to go get it. And I'm privy to talk to most everybody in the entire company. And so, but the bottom line, when he presented me with this blessing, I walked in the next Monday morning and fired the bank as a senior vice president of a major top 5 bank. I fired him. I come home and was going to do network marketing. Everybody was making fun. The rest of everybody was mad. My wife was upset and scared. But I had this dream. But I had my why, which is my 2 little girls, and my why become my wow. And within the first 30 days or 28 days, I knew I'd made the right decision. I just went in my office, shut the door, and went to work. But every afternoon, my wife would bring my little girls home. They would come into my office. They'd have her little silver tray and a little silver thing. Then they would have like glasses of milk and little peanut butter sandwiches. I would sit on the floor in my office with my headset on, talking, doing 3-ways and conference calls. We didn't have no Zooms. Didn't really know what computers were. There was absolutely no social media. The cell phones looked like bag generators. It was back in that day. But I saw how confident my little girls got. Every night around 11:30 midnight, when Mark and I was still on the phone, I carried those 2 little girls up 2 flights of steps, put them to bed, tell them how much I loved them, tuck them in. And that's something I'd missed for several years. And I saw the grades started picking up. They started becoming more confident in who they were because I represented the security here, but they felt the love. They felt their daddy's home. Daddy ain't going nowhere today. They say, are you flying out today? I said, no, baby, I ain't never going to fly out again unless you with me. It's over. I fired those people. They no longer exist in our life. And when you make up your mind that you're going to come out now, did I sit on my ass and hope it was going to happen, wish it was going to happen? If I found it back in those days when I didn't have somebody I was prospecting, I opened up a phone book. I mean, any of y'all ever remember you get the phone book about twice a year? Big old thick phone book. I just started in the A's. Hello, Rusty Lackey. What if I could show you a product where you could put anywhere on your body with tight, tone, and firm, you see visible results in 45 minutes? No! And hang up. I didn't care. The next day I scratched him out. You're kidding. No. You want to try it? Come over to my house. I'll meet you somewhere. We'll let you try it. And back then, belly to belly was the way we done it, and we had created an experience. And then we started getting in people's homes, and then invite 8 or 10 people over. It's $25 a wrap. Back then, I tell the host, if you get at least 8 people to wrap, we'll wrap you for free. Yeah, it worked. And then I would book a lot of what we called those wrap parties from those parties, and it just started to multiply. Next thing you know, it went to Texas, and it went to Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama, and it went everywhere. And next thing you know, I was on a jet from Mark headed to Canada. That's when we opened our first country. And we just pushed it hard. We just decided to outwork everybody, but you got to have something that spurs you on. Number one, that preventative measure, you got to take the action in order to prevent poverty and to prevent illness. I've been sick. The second year in this, I got sick, found a tumor right around my pituitary. In 4 years, I went from 258 to 750. I've only lost over 500 pounds in going on 15 years, and I've not had a medicine in my body. If we don't make it, I don't take it. And hadn't had a medicine, not even aspirin for a headache, in going on 15 years. So that is a preventative measure because I already did the treatment process. I'm not going to do that no more. I'm going to take care of me. So I'm going to put myself in a what? When you have the preventative measures going on, you put yourself in a position to what? Win. The only thing I see now is most people don't have a goal or dream big enough that will compel you to move you into the preventative measure from preventing poverty, from preventing somebody else to raise your children, preventing the memories that you should be making with your kids because we don't have anything in place. Well, I was never taught. Well, if you're on the Zoom right now, you have no more excuses to take your life to the next level and to take that necessary action. And here we're going to teach you how to develop a plan of action. If you was on the last Zoom, that is a specific finite plan of action they gave you to create an infinite life. And what I mean by infinite life, that means there is no end to it. That means you're going to become adventurous and you're going to go live your life in your adventure because you're the one with the pen writing your story. And when you write your story, guess what happens? You write the ending any way you want to. But see, when you become adventurous, it's like I drive a big truck. It's a Suburban. And it's got a very big windshield, but it's got a very small mirror in it. And from time to time, I glance at it. That rear view mirror was not made for you to stare at because if you do, you're going to wreck it. The windshield was big so you can see where you're going. So you can see all that adventure you've been missing by staring in the mirror, worrying about what happened in the past or what somebody else is going to think. And you're worrying about what your history. Hell, that's gone. You can't stay hung in your history. Make up your mind, I'm going to go make history. Make up your mind, I'm no longer going to watch nor read the news. I'm going to go make the news. I will be the news for everybody else to read. You're going to follow me and you're put in a position to win right now. If you're in Networks Global, you've been put in a position to win in life. And it does not matter how many, if I counted the no's that I've got through the past 20 years, you couldn't put them in a landfill. But all it took was those 6 or 7 yeses. And with those 6 or 7 yeses, this organization here, all of us together, not me, all of us together, is done into the billions of dollars. In the next 48 months, this team right here is going, we're going to double what we've done and maybe quadruple it. Do you know why? Because you ever heard of the perfect storm? The perfect storm is you're working for it right now. You're like the Noah building the ark. And you've done it for it's been 2 months, 2 years, or 20 years like me. In September, the perfect storm is going to hit and the door is going to shut. And at that particular point, it's going to start to rain. And those people in Noah's Ark, they never saw any rain. They didn't know what the hell Noah was talking about. They thought he lost his mind. That man's got dementia. He must eat too much pork and he's got a salt overload. I don't know. He's got a high cholesterol problem. He said it's going to rain and he's been over there 80 years beating on that ark. But then when the door shut and it started raining, everybody wanted to be with him. The perfect storm is here. We've worked for 20 years to put everything in place to line it up to where we can handle what he's going to give you in September. Ain't nothing special. I just had a willingness to change my life. I had a willingness that I wanted my life to be different than everybody else's. I've always been different. I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. I didn't want to get up and show up to some place where they underpaid me, underappreciated me. I was getting up every morning to go somewhere I did not want to go, to do something I really did not want to do for somebody I damn sure didn't want to do it for. And so underappreciated and underpaid, but I was doing it for that little bitty check. They told me this is all you're worth. And I knew in the back of my mind I was worth so much more. I was out working and performing them, but this person above me, he was making mega dollars. He was making more in bonuses than I was making all year, and I was at $550,000 a year. That's a lot of money. But that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time in slavery. That's a lot of time in that particular prison. That's a lot of time away from things. It's the most precious thing to me in life. Because when it gets to the end of your life, you're going to look back and say, I wish I would have. Do not get to the end of your road and be in any type of regret. And so therefore, stop making excuses as to why you can't get it done. And so most excuses, well, I just can't. I don't have the motivation. And you keep telling yourself the same old bunch of lies, and it's because it's repetitive. That's what you've heard. Well, that won't work. Or you can't do that. Well, if I just wasn't so old and so tired. And say we continue to believe those lies and we repetitively tell ourselves those lies. And when you make up your mind, today I'm going to hold me accountable. And when I start to hold me accountable, guess what's going to happen? You start to hold yourself to a higher standard because you're worth it. You hold yourself to a higher standard because your children's worth it. You hold yourself to a higher standard because you're going to elevate your lifestyle. You're going to elevate everything about you. You're going to become what I would call unpredictable. Right now, most people are predictable. Your sister, your brother, your mama, your best friend are so to speak, your best friends. They're not really your best friends. Um, when shit hits the fan, most of them are gone. They leave you all by yourself. Yeah, I know. But they say, oh, I'll give her 2 weeks. Oh, I'll give you a year. But at this point, you've made up your mind. No more predictability. When they think I'm going to go left, I'm going right. When they think I'm going to go backwards, I'm going to charge frontwards. They think I'm going steam ahead, I'm going to back up and go a different way. I'm going to become unpredictable in my actions to prevent living in poverty, preventing a lifestyle I don't want to live in. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so you make up your mind, here I come, get him up here. I hate to tell you, I will run over top of you when I'm coming after my goals. But see, one is too small of a number to win. When we unify and we have the same mindset and we're going in the same direction, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And when you make up your mind and right here, we're going to unify. That's what this is all about. The unification of a well-oiled organization that we're going to go from where we are to the real next level. This is certain things I have to get done every single day. And I like the part where Carissa and Natasha and Queen's Mary, the other lady, Nicole was on there a while ago, and they was giving all that great information of what the message people see. Right now, people are looking for you to show up. They're looking for you just to go out and expose what you have to them. All this business is about is how often, how well can you expose your business, expose yourself, and do people trust you? The more you expose it and you're consistent with it, the more they'll begin to trust you. People like to do business with people that show up, that they can count on is going to be there, that you exposed yourself and now they begin to trust you. And guess what they're going to do? I've got a girl today that become a customer. I've known her since I was like 12. She said, I trust you. What do you recommend? After all these years, I recommended several things. Actually, she got 2 pick 3s. And she said, well, I trust you. I'm in. I'm 100% in. And she owns a big business in town. Carissa, within 1 hour, she sent 3 more customers because they don't really know me, but she does. And she put her blessings on it. That's 4 loyal customers today. And I've got 2 more to talk to first thing in the morning because of her. Why? 20 years of showing up. She don't sample it. She hadn't done any of that. All I did is said, this is what I do. She said, every day I've watched her lives. I had no idea she was watching my lives. Those lives are a big deal on your Facebook and your Instagram. It's a big deal. Get on there and say something. It don't matter how scared you are or what you say, show up every day. If you talk about your dog, y'all hear me talk about Duke, my dog. You hear me talk about the horse ranch. You hear me talk about my daughters. It don't have to be an inspirational every day. And the sun don't shine on the same old dog every day. And some days you get like a mental block. But then it goes to here's where you're going to break the mental block. You're going to go to what you're grateful for. Every morning as I go over it early in the morning, I get very early. I'm grateful for y'all. Grateful for Carissa. You would not believe the backbone is on this Zoom right here. There's several ladies here. If it wasn't for them, me and a couple more people be SOL. Because they take up our slack and get us pointed in the right direction. And so, but see, it takes a great team to win. So, but when you make up your mind, I'm not going to make any more excuses and we're going to become unified. Because when you're unified with an organization, that means you're going to start to reach your goals a little quicker. You've got all these resources out here. It's just landing your feet that we didn't have in the early days. Now it comes up to how resourceful are you to use your resources. And so when you make up your mind, no longer will I tell myself the lies. I'm going to hold me accountable. And what everybody else says, see, most people want to take their limited liabilities and park them in your head. Oh, so they're imposing their own limitations on you. And some of us just learned to believe it because we thought those are forever people. Those aren't your forever people. They never really liked you to start with. If you stand in a circle gossiping with other people and you're the first one to walk off, you're the one getting in the back now. That's human nature. But when you raise yourself to a higher standard, you say what you mean, mean what you say, and you're very direct with it, And when you continually show up, that what builds what? The trust. See, do you know really what's on trial here? Our compensation plan sure ain't on trial. This product line, it sure ain't on trial. There's too much, many years of before and afters. The only thing that's on trial is us. Us. What are we telling ourselves and what are we holding ourselves accountable to? And then when you make up your mind, I'm not telling any more lies. I can get up earlier and make this happen. See, if you lie to you, you ain't gonna have no problems lying to nobody else. It's just a way of life. It is the only standard it's a subpar standard. When you make up your mind, I'm coming up, I'm gonna get up and go to the next level. And you go, if I say I'm getting up at 6 and I'm gonna be running by 6:15, you can catch me over my neighborhood running. Or you can catch me in my health club every day at 10:30. I promise. You know why? Because I have to hold myself to that standard because I don't want to go back and become sick again. So therefore, that is my preventative measures to go out and set the pace. You're either following the pace or setting the pace. And if you follow the pace, I never really like to look at other people's rear end because that's you following the herd. I wanted to go out and set the pace and let you look at mine. Is it anything? I'm 60 years old. I thought it was 500 pounds ain't the best thing to look at, but I swear to God, I'm coming through the woods, tearing the briars down, knocking the trees down, and I'm coming after it, and I'm gonna clear the path for you. That's what I did when I played ball. And you know what? If you find a path where these guys continue to run, it's very consistent. You're going to eat like, wow, if they can do it, they've done it. They've cleared me a little path here. I've got something to follow. I've got a roadmap to follow. It's your navigation is turned on, and now you can go get it done. And when you make up your mind, this is what I'm going to do. When you really make up your mind, that's what I'm going to do. You're going to go do it. And I'm going to tell you what. When we were poor, I wanted a Suburban because we started having kids. I didn't have enough money to buy 2 billy goats to pull a wagon. And I went to a particular place. I was walking into really knocking it out. And this my mentor told me, he said, you got to lick the leather. I said, you mean actually? He said, you got to get the taste in your mouth. So I went over and told the guy what I was going to do and what I was doing. He said, oh, you one of those people? I said, uh-huh. And when he went looking, I licked the leather, got the taste of that leather in my mouth. It didn't taste that good, but I never forgot it. It only took me about a year to go back to the place. And they said, I see you back. I said, yep, I'm here to buy today. He kind of chuckled. I said, but I ain't buying it from you, you dream stealer. I want the youngest person here that just got here, your newest guy or girl. I'm going to buy it from them. Well, you got to have credit. I said, no, I don't have that. Not this time. I worked my ass off to go get it. And that was my all driving purpose. Him saying, kind of chuckled at me. And a young fella just got there, didn't know nothing about nothing. I already knew everything I needed to know about what I wanted. I've been wanting for years. And you know what? I said, just do the paperwork. After we got our negotiating done, I just wrote him a check for it. And the other guy said, be careful who you chuckle at. Be careful who you make fun of or belittle. To me, you were just showing your fear to me. And therefore I can't do business with scared people. Every year for the last 26 Suburbans, I've been buying it from the same old boy. Ronner Davis is his name. And you know what? It's just a new standard, a new way of life. This is how we live. And so what I'm telling you tonight, you can take what you got in your hands on. You can help somebody else in a preventative measure from being healthy or overweight, and you can give them quality of life. You set the standard. And when you believe that you deserve something like that, oh, they're expensive. Some people say, I said, no, they're not. It's just, this is what we believe. And when you make your first $1 million, the first one is going to be the hardest. It's not the $1 million. It's hard. It's who you're going to become as you get there. When you become there, you don't take that other silliness and you don't socialize and engage in stuff that ain't moving forward. We don't live for the weekend. Once you make the first one, you've become the person you need to be to have earned it. But the second one is going to hit just like that because now you've done what? You started to expect it. This is my new way of life. This is a standard in which I operate. This is a standard in which I feed my mind. These are the activities I engage in every single day. Income generating activities, and income don't always mean money. It's growing you up here, physically fit, in a preventative measure that I will never go back to poverty. That's what those necessary actions mean, that you don't go backwards. You continually forge forward. in order to score points in a football game, the ball has to be moved forward, not north and south, but east and west. And you have to take it and you have to, that's the only way it's scored. And you have to take it across the goal line. But every day when you get up, if you're just gaining inches or you're gaining a foot or you gain a couple yards, you're moving toward the goal line. You never stop short of the goal line. Does that make sense? Anybody got anything to add or
I
say?
do.
Let's go, Carissa.
So few things as far as action go based off everything Rusty was saying. Now that you have the mindset in place, you know exactly what you need to accomplish. You know that you need to put yourself out there for more people to be able to see because they don't know it exists unless you go out there and go forward and tell them. So now this is putting in place messaging the people to inform them and let them know. This is putting in place reels or stories or lives or posts to inform people of what you're doing and what's going on. This is putting out posts that shows your results as to what you're doing or the benefits you're getting from whatever you're doing. This is showing your excitement. This is putting those goals out there that you want to accomplish. For example, 5 loyal customers a week. Putting that goal out there to accomplish it. I'm going to get at least 1 LC a day so I can get that goal accomplished. This is on top of doing that, asking yourself, how am I going to get it done? And then putting those actions in place. Now, I want to go over with you guys. I held this all the way in till today from Monday. We came out with a new product on Monday. Every time we come out with a new product, the new product always tests your mindset. Every time we come out with a new product. How to test your mindset? This is how. It takes you right down into that negative mindset because you feel like the website's down. Oh, you're not going to get the free tumbler. Oh, we sold out. Oh, so everybody's mindset goes negative instead of staying focused on the positive and just waiting and waiting your turn and just staying focused on getting it accomplished. So while the website kept crashing, every time it happened, I hit the backspace button, click that button again and waited. I sat there and waited. If it crashed again while I was doing it, hit the backspace, kept doing and waiting and kept going. If your mind already told you that you gave up and that you wasn't going to accomplish it and it wasn't going to happen, that's why I didn't. So if you already gave up that fast, all that told me in my head is while everybody was doing that and giving up on themselves and saying it was sold out and saying that they didn't get it and saying that they not one of the 500 and saying that the coffee is gone or saying the website's crashed, I'm never going to get it, or saying that I couldn't get it done in 10 minutes, so I'm going to try again tomorrow, or saying that I couldn't get this accomplished, so I'm not going to go to an LC account instead and try to get it that way. All that stuff just told me that that's how easy you give up on trying to promote. So if you have not promoted, that's why, because you gave up on yourself, literally letting that self negativity just come right in and let you out. Instead of staying focused on the goal and sitting right there and staying focused on trying to get it done. I watched everybody. Oh my gosh, it wasn't just y'all, trust me. It was leaders. It was everybody going through a frenzy. And while they sitting up there typing about this, you could have been on that website waiting your turn to actually get their coffee, which is what I did. I was one of the first ones that got mine through. And I sat there and got my second one through. Then I came and said, done. I'm not going to sit there and talk to nobody and talk to y'all. And then next thing you know, I'm missing my place in line because I'm talking to y'all about the negativity of, yep, the website's down. We go through this same process every product that comes out. This is not new. The company tried something new this time by putting it on auto ship. Guess what happens when you try something new? It's going to glitch. That's just always. Oh man, Fat Fighters is gone. What we going to do? That was the next thing people was worried about. Next thing you know, Fat Fighters went away. Guess what showed up? A new one with a white bottle. Now everybody excited again. Like all you had to do was just hold it together. So I'm putting all this to y'all now so that y'all can look back on what your mindset was like Monday so that you can see how easy it was for negativity to get into your mind as to what can happen on the end of the month or the middle of the month or the beginning of the month, each month when you're ready to promote. All that showed me was exactly how easy it is for somebody to fail. because you let that negativity get in your head. And all I told the enemy was, while you negative, I'm gonna slip right on in. I'm gonna slip right on in. You weren't in the groups I was in, Query. That's why you didn't see it. So that helped out so much with you being able to now go back and think about how you were that day and realize how much further you need to go. You may have thought you was there, but that day tested you. So see that day and learn from it so that you're focused on now the rest of the month and how you can take advantage of that and say, dang, yo, I did let that negative self-talk in. I let it in that fast. We read that book, Relentless, and we was fired up. And then we let this new product come and just take us, wipe us right out. All that knowledge you learned, gone that fast. You let it wipe you right out, right? So take advantage of that and realize that's what happened. But why it happened, what y'all see me say back to y'all? It's a glitch. It's gonna fix itself. Don't worry about it. IT's on top of it. Everybody knows, don't worry. But when you're putting out that negativity as your complaints come out, all that's doing is showing the next person on your team or the next person in your downline or that next person that got that lower self-negative self-talk, self-negativity, whatever in their head, it's multiplying. Yours may be low, but theirs gonna multiply from you doing that. You know what I mean? So just realize that and see that you can learn from that. And next thing you know, what's going to happen? You're going to promote. You're going to realize that that negativity was sitting there, but you're able to overcome it. And it just showed you exactly what you need to do. Keep that negative self-talk out your head and stay focused on being on Zooms. Stay focused on staying in touch with the teams. Stay focused on whatever we're doing, whatever you need to do, whoever you need to talk to, if you need to speak to Rusty. And that way we can get you guys promoted to the next rank. And it's crazy, it'd be that little breakthrough that make the difference. And we still got 9 days now to still promote. Volume is higher than it was last month. You're able to maintain your lifetime rank. You still got time. And I did, and I'm gonna let y'all know, I got 2 cups because I put in a new loyal customer. I got a cousin that signed up and she got in and got the cup. One of my DT accounts that I did the auto ship under, it got the cup. So I did get 2 cups out of it. I figured out, and I did a loyal customer account with the auto ship. It didn't get it. It should have too, but it didn't. But guess what I did? I covered my rear end always possible to make sure I got that cup. While everybody else was sitting over there self-negative talking themselves, I made sure of it. So that's what you got to do. You just got to stay focused. And if I don't call you out on what you did, you won't even know you did it, or you won't pay attention that it happened. And then next thing you know, you being what's the word, sugar coated or whatever. Then next thing you know, I'm patting you on your back like it's okay. You need those people to tell you and call you out on your stuff. Like we tell y'all all the time, you're gonna have people that's gonna call you out on it. We all are different color personalities for a reason. Melody is the soft one. Melody will love you through and pray for you. That's her. She will love you through and all of that. You got her for that. Trust me. She's in the background. She knows exactly what's going on. She knows. Trust me. She knows. Trust me. Okay. She pays attention. So just understand, guys, y'all got all of us here helping you, but at the same time, we want to make sure that you are your best self, that you're not letting people get in that easily. Because if y'all let that negativity in that easy, a family member can easily say one thing to you and push you right out also. So everybody like, yeah, that was y'all Monday. Y'all just said it to yourself and didn't say it in the chat.
I love it.
That's all I had. I hope
Carissa,
that it.
whatever you feed, it will come to stay. If you feed an old stray cat, it'll show up tomorrow for something else to eat. If you feed a negative thought or you allow other people in your head and you feed it and you give into it, it'll grow. It comes to live with you. You have to kick them and that out. And here's what I'm going to tell you, and you're never going to doubt us again. I trust Mark Pentecost. He ain't never lied to me in almost the 21 years I've known him. He always puts you in a position to win. Is winning easy? Absolutely not. If you're in this for the friggin' cup, and it's nice, they sell the damn things at Walmart. I mean, seriously, You go get something, might not have it on there, you go get you one. If you're trying to hurry up in order to get the little prize, you're off the main prize. The main prize is the effects of the product by getting in your digestive tract, what it's going to do for you physically. That's the prize. It ain't the friggin' cup. So, it's kind of like participation trophies. When I played football, you either earned it or you didn't get it. Nowadays, they want to give every kid a trophy just for showing up. And if some of them, the uniform is just as clean as it was when they took it off, when they put it on. Now, when my daughters played ball, I said they will not participate and everybody gets a participation trophy. You're not making my two little girls weak. If they didn't earn it, they don't get it. By God, they're gonna earn it because they're gonna work out with me. If Carissa knows that my daughters work out, we all work out together, heavy, hard, and crazy. And we push each other because I want my little girls to be strong. And some little boy comes up and he's weak, he can't play in our world. And therefore, when things begin to happen, that critical thinking that you do by manning up or womaning up on it, it's the critical thinking. It like Carissa was doing. She stayed there relentless, punching the button. She got her cups. But that's relentless. You know why? Because she ain't about to give up. Period. And so we're here to help you through. And we all gonna have those times where you think, like Noah when he's building that ark, I can see it 80 years later, and he's laying on the ground by the fire that night, and whatever his wife's name was, I forget. It ain't never rained, and I'm eating this biscuit and drinking this wine, and people haggling me and sitting, and they're just talking, and he was doubting himself. But the next morning, somehow he mustered up. And poor Noah was the town drunk. God works in mysterious ways, and therefore he just every day he got back up and he went to work. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, after 120 years, it started raining, and the people that hackled him and made fun of him, saying, "Damn, I wish I ain't have done that. I should have been helping him build that ark." But you know what? Everybody's going to try to talk you out of your dream, talk you out of your plan, talk you out of the seeds of greatness God gave you the day you were nothing more than a fertilized egg going down your mama's fallopian tube. They're going to try to make you doubt yourself. They're going to try to park their limited liabilities into your head. And that's okay. If you want to work a job, go work it. I just don't want to work one. I want to run my business. But Mark Pentecost ain't never lied to us, and everything he's doing is always he's setting a strategy up to win. That's his coaching, that's his business model, that's his acumen, because he loves and cares about every one of y'all. And it won't nothing he won't do to put you in a position to win. Now you have to make up your mind, which string do you want to play? You want to play first string, second string, third string, or sit the bench? Well, bench warmers ain't gonna never make nothing. They're more spectators. You roll your sleeves up, you pull your axe out, and you start slinging and swinging. Every day when you walk out the door, you're slinging and swinging. And pretty soon, when you keep showing up, it'll be like the deal that happened to me today. A little girl that owns a big insurance company here, she become a big, heavy customer, got me 3 more, and there's 2 more going to be in the morning. And when she told me, she said, "No, these people are ready to purchase. So they just want to talk to you. So I can help custom fit what they need." You think they would have done it if I'd been in business just for a year or 2 and hadn't had some success with it? No, they wouldn't trust me. When she told me she trusts me, that touched a heartstring, and I almost teared up in front of my wife driving down the highway. She said, "I trust you." You know how hard you work all your life to have an integrity and never quit. It's easy when it gets hard. People gonna quit. Why do you quit? So you can start over again. Therefore, you never make anything happen. And therefore, you don't have any integrity, no grit, no character, and people don't trust you. Well, I did that. I tried that. Well, how much other stuff did you try that you didn't? It ain't that this don't work. And the reason people quit is because they don't work. They'll find every friggin' excuse in the book to what? To go back to the poverty mindset because they never put a preventative measure in place to go win. When you put preventative measures in place, that means I've made up my mind, I'm going to win, because that is the action, the course of action I'm going to take. And if you're taking a strong course of action in your physical well-being and your financial well-being, your business, you're going to win. It's not a matter if you win or when you win. It's going to happen. You can't keep showing up and not win. It takes some people longer than others, and here's why. Some of us mature. It takes us a lot longer to mature up. It's taken me 20 years to get mature up to handle this kind of business. And some of you ladies, y'all are stronger than us guys, so you mature much faster. And so when you make up your mind, how fast do I want to mature? You cannot go through a mess if you can have a message. You cannot go through being tested and have a testimony. And therefore, when you make up your mind, bring it the hell on. Bring it. I love a challenge. I thrive on challenges every day. I thrive on somebody pushing me to the next level, just making that challenge. And once you do that, you start to become a person of conquer. You still going to conquer the challenge. And then therefore, when you conquer those kind of challenges, this right here begins to be fun. It begins to be easy, but it's worth it. Do you know why? It's this full-time family I've had for 20 years. We fly to Europe. The girls went with me. Ask Melody. Melody was with us the first trip my daughters went out of the country. We all had to go run, get passports, and have it expedited by the local senator, so we wouldn't be late. It's Melody and Blair and Bubba and Tina. And then when we started hitting out of the country there, every time me and Robin got in a plane to go somewhere, whether it's France or Spain, or we'd write the kids out of school for a week. They'd write essays on it, they'd be graded on it, and off we would go. I said, if we're going to do business in those countries, my daughters can't learn out of a textbook about France. They need to go experience the culture. And hey, I ain't the smartest guy on the block. I was born on a farm. Preacher's son after that. I really ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but what I got is a very strong work ethic, and I don't know how to quit. I'm the red guy that I just can't. I'm in competition with nobody except me. Get your ass up and get going. That's what I talk. That's how I talk to me every day. So whatever you feed will come to stay. Feed your fear, it'll come to stay. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. Feed your dreams and starve your nightmares. Feed your dreams and starve your nightmares. Put pictures all over your refrigerator, your bathroom wall, your ceiling, your whatever. Everywhere you go, you want to be reminded of what you're after. If it's a car, if it's a boat, if it's a house, if it's a whatever. The beautiful part about making a dream board and plastering that damn thing everywhere, because we all can see, and that you start to internalize. And then the more you see it, the more you want it, the more you do for it. The beautiful part about a dream board is not the dream board you made. It's what you're taking off of it, what you're replacing it with. Every time you do that, you start to elevate your dream. And when you elevate your dream, you start to feed it, you're going to have that preventative measure that takes the necessary action to go acquire the dream. Because now you believe and you deserve it. You believe you're going to get it with every fiber in your being. And at this point, can't nobody talk you out of it. I don't give a rat's behind who it is. If that's as limited as you are, I'm sorry, I'm not. And here's where it gets funny, y'all. Y'all want to hear something funny? I have a brother-in-law. I went to him first. I said, man, you got to do this to me. I just walked away from the bank. He said, you have lost your mind. And all through these years, everything he could say to gouge you, to talk junk to you, to try to discourage you, he'd do it. Make little bastard comments. I don't like to choke him out now. And it wasn't too long ago, I was fixing to go see somebody over in Florida. And I was going to fly out very early at our little private airport up here. And it's like 6 a.m. I said, look, I'm going to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll be back no later than Tuesday morning. Won't you go with me? And he just stared at me. Oh, you can't. You got to go punch that clock. I'm sorry. I forgot all about it. I got so wrapped up in not punching clocks so long and not waking up by alarm clocks. I forgot you were still doing it. Well, that let him know how valuable he is not in my life, that I'm not going to listen to all that negative crap. And I'm going to continue to set the pace. And I'm not saying that to brag. Didn't do that to, well, maybe I did. I didn't do it to gouge him. Just wanted to make him see, look, if I'd have listened to you, I'd be just like you. I don't want to be like you. My two little girls are worth more than that. They was worth a full-time mom and daddy. Does that make sense? But here's what you got to believe. You got to believe that you're worth it. I want you to, all you ladies, or whoever's on here, I want you to go into your bathroom tonight, shut the door. I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to fall back in love with you. You cannot effectively love your spouse, your kids, your mom, or your daddy if you don't love you. Because the way you see you is the way you portray that projection on everybody else, and that's exactly what you're attracting into your life. If you don't think highly of you, you're attracting those people in your life. But when you go back in and fall in love with what you see in the mirror, things about you will change. There will people show up that just want to be in business with you. They want to be your customers, and there are people of significance. People as willing to get committed, as committed as you are to go where you're going and where they want to go. And therefore you start to become unified. You from where you are to where you're going, but you're doing it together. Once again, one is too small of a number to win. We have to win together. If not, there ain't no winning. We're going to the Pro Bowl this year, baby. Get your minds made up, and get your minds made up. Your uniforms get real nasty. The practices are going to be hard because the game's going to be harder. And we're going to the Pro Bowl, and there ain't going to be no damn bench on my sidelines. Just ain't going to be. We're going to get off the bench. We're going to get our asses in the game, and we're going to start playing. And it don't matter how strong the defense is, because the best defense you've ever had in your life is a strong offense. If you keep running the ball at them and hitting them head up, sooner or later they start to give in. You start to make yardage, and they say, "Oh my God, here she comes again. She's gonna hit me just as hard." And you like this big guy when I played ball. His name Roosevelt Rubin. He's 350 pounds, 6'6". He drove my head in the ground the first play. I said, "Hey, is that all you got, Roosevelt?" He was at the school where my daughters go. I went to a city school, and all night long I run at him and run at him. And one time my helmet caught him just right, and poor Roosevelt was rolled off on a stretcher. But I made up my mind. I said, he can stick my head in the dirt and it's raining. He could drown me in that mud puddle over there. But I'm coming at him just as hard the last play as I do the first play, because I was determined, and I made my mind up. You wasn't going to dog me like you had everybody else in the league. And you know what? With that attitude, you can call me crazy or call it strategic or whatever you want to call me. When you make up your mind to go after your dream to that magnitude, there's absolutely nothing that can stop you except you. And you go look in the mirror tonight and fall in love with yourself again, and you start write down, take a pad in there with you and write down all the qualities that you have. And I promise to God, the qualities you have will outweigh any flaw you've ever had or ever will have. It's your qualities that's going to take you to the next level. Does that make sense? And so with that particular mindset, there's absolutely nothing that can stop you except what? You. Because when you start to see yourself and elevate the way you see you, you watch and see what begins to happen in your world, what happens in your business, what happens in your life, how you get to live a life of significance for the rest of your life. That's the way I want to live. Is it y'all? Yeah? Anybody got anything, Carissa?
Y'all got any questions or anything? Or you want me to stop it first and then you can ask? Let's stop it. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Watching the recording and whatnot. Sorry for you. Bye, guys.